This is Noblenews Scorecard. Your Scorecard is your program where you tell the world and showcase what you have done within a period of time. It is our privilege to have you on Noblenews Scorecard.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Before we commence this interview with Professor Ahmed Umdagas Hamidu, the Chief Medical Director at Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Shika, Zaria, let us take this profile.
President Muhammadu Buhari was told in no small terms the outstanding achievements recorded in Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Shika, Zaria, by the Emir of Zazzau, Malam Ahmed Nuhubamali, and Malam Nasir Ahmed Erufai, Governor of Kaduna State. The Emir, Ambassador Ahmed Nuhubamali, stated that, "I am proud to stand before you here today to say that there was a huge intervention in Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Shika, Zaria. Your Excellency, we are happy, and I can assure you that the entire people of Zaria and the neighboring states are very happy with the intervention there, because we no longer have to travel to Sokoto, to Kano or Abuja before we can get screened by MRI machine. So I am indeed very grateful for that, Your Excellency." On the part of the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, he posits that when late Shehu Idris, Emir of Zazzau, drew out attention to the problems of Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Shika, we visited. He sent me an album showing the state of dilapidation of the hospital, and I visited, conferred with the Chief Medical Director, and I reported to you, and you asked me to write for an emergency intervention, which you approved, and our sister, the Minister of Finance, monitored and ensured the implementation. And today, the ABUTH Teaching Hospital is a much improved and a pride to all of us, and we are grateful to you. From the above, one may assert that Ralph Waldo Emerson's infamous quotation, "When nature has work to be done, she creates a genius to do it." He was referring to Professor Ahmed Umdagas Hamidu, the Chief Medical Director of Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Shika, Zaria. If not, how do you explain why it took almost 40 years from when the cornerstone of ABUTH Shika was laid in 1997 with many infrastructural development, yet without renovation for almost 40 years until after Professor Umdagas became the 9th CMD. Simple. According to Roosevelt, the best prize that life has to offer Professor Umdagas is the chance to work. At the time, the fortunes of the teaching hospital was to be turned around for the better. Umdagas, a professor of 8 years, has a 31 years working experience. He is a professor and consultant of radiology, a specialist neurologist, and women imaging. He has put his heart and soul into his work, and the reward for work well done was what he got when both the Emir of Zazzau and the Governor of Kaduna State informed President Muhammadu Buhari that ABUTH Shika is a pride to them. Professor Umdagas is the one destined to be in the helm of affairs when achievements never thought possible in ABUTH Shika was to take place. His inspiring achievements are turning ABUTH into a gold mine, yet he humbly stated that for ABUTH, the best is yet to come. This is the man who is on the hot seat of Noblenews Scorecard. It is his scorecard.
Welcome back. The teaching hospital is the first in the whole of northern Nigeria, as in Uwab Badamama.
Yes.
So the teaching hospital is a springboard that gave birth to so many teaching hospitals in northern Nigeria. Give us a brief about Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital.
Thank you very much for that question. Actually, Ahmadu Bello Teaching Hospital came into being in 1967. Then it was under ICSA of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria from 1967 to 1989 or thereabout, when there was a law which created Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital Zaria. So it is now autonomously directed from the Ministry of Health. That's how it started.
When did you assume office? We want to draw a line from when you came in, how it was or how you met it, and how it is today.
Thank you very much. I came into office 24th of May 2019.
I've seen a list of 38 projects completed. I'm sure there are so many ongoing. What are your major achievements in regards to these within the time frame that you are in charge of the teaching hospital?
There are so many of the achievements, but I can tell you that one of the most important achievements we've done is to renovate the wards in the hospital. About 1/3 of the hospital has now been renovated, and if you look at how the hospital started, since 1977 or thereabout, when this building was started, it was not completed until 2005. It was then that it was commissioned, and so practicing of healthcare delivery started in this hospital. So since that period, there has been no renovation of the hospital at all through until when I came in. So we now assess the state of dilapidation of the hospital, and we're able to rehabilitate and innovate part of the hospital. So if you come to the hospital now, you see lots of achievement that have been done. Apart from the renovation of the hospital, the entire clinics of the hospital has been completely renovated. And we've also created accident emergencies. So we now have 2 accident emergencies: the medical accident emergency and the surgical accident emergency. So these are very, very paramount things that we've done within the 2.5 years that I've been in the CMD of Ahmed University Hospital Zaria.
Did you do all of this within the federal government budgetary allocation?
Yes, yes and then no. Because in 2019, we received an intervention from the federal government. So that is not within the budget. The renovation that we were doing is through the budget and the special intervention by the federal government of Nigeria.
Do you have any collaboration or partnership you are able to source for funding through development partners?
Well, the development partners usually assist us in the clinical aspect. So they are not actually involved in renovations and capital projects. So mainly where we get our funds is from the federal government through the budget and the intervention. But for the clinical services, there are some intervention that we received from our development partners like the WHO, some other development partners. We were able to get some funds from our IGR. When I came in, the total IGR for the hospital is just...
That was what I was going to ask you about, the IGR after the commercial break.
You need your scorecard on Noblenews.
Noblenews scorecard. What is it all about, Auntie Blessing?
Malan Nasir, have you heard about the Noblenews scorecard?
Noblenews scorecard? No.
Well, Noblenews scorecard is a special program designed to provide the people from all walks of life to have their input as regards to human development and nation building, showcase for their employers, electorate, subject, followers, and even the general public, especially the youth. The scorecard targets creating awareness on your input that touches the lives of the people.
Auntie Blessing, I am not a leader. I am not a politician or any public official. This program is not for me.
Malan Nasir, the program is for all. We are all leaders in our different levels. Remember, being a leader does not require a title, and most importantly, having a title does not make one a leader.
Interesting. Now I am clear. Even as a classroom teacher, I am a leader.
Of course, Malan Nasir. The program is not only for politicians, chief executives, the classroom teacher, religious leaders, community opinion molders, market women and youth leaders, but for all of us. We all owe the community to tell them what we do to make the society better, especially the politicians, the traditional rulers, the police and other security operatives, academia and other personality, touching many lives at local, national and international levels.
Sounds interesting. What did you say the program is?
Scorecard.
Auntie Blessing, I don't trust these journalists. They twist issues.
Malan Nasir, Noblenews is different. Noblenews with a meritorious motto, truth and balance, restoring trust on the media. It's blunt without being rude. They say it as it is. They review your untold stories, your effort, plans, and the achievements recorded over time. It captures your 1 year or a 10-year scorecard.
Auntie Blessing, you and your sweet talk, I think it makes sense. I remember Sir Ahmed Bello, the Sardona of Sokoto, once said, if you don't blow your trumpet, nobody will blow it for you because they are busy blowing their own.
Exactly, Malan Nasir. Chebe also said that the lizard that falls from the Iroko tree should not its egg to heal itself if nobody does.
You don't do, Auntie Blessing. Where is Noblenews? I will have my scorecard on Noblenews. So should you.
Noblenews is at the Hood LTL building along Queen Elizabeth Road. Malan Nasir, you can't miss it. It is the building with the Hood LTL maps. It is between the post office and the High Court. You can also reach us through 070-855-55889 or through our email usnoblenews@gmail.com. Noblenews, truth and balance.
Restoring trust on the media.
Home of formidable media professionalism. Come one, come all.
Welcome back. The teaching hospital since 1985, the management has put in place measures to generate internally generated revenue. How much have you met? How much are you generating during your tenure?
When I came into office, what was being generated per month was about 39-40 million naira per month. That's the IGR of the institution. But by the time I came in, we have been able to be generating between 80 to 90 million naira, up to 100 million naira per month. So that's what we are generating right now.
Are you remitting to the federal government?
No, it's sent to the TSA.
Wow.
At the end of it, every day we send money to the TSA.
About development partners, you've mentioned that you've been collaborating at clinicals.
Yes, that's right.
Presently, how many are you utilizing within the national level and at international level?
It's actually at international level. We have a lot of collaboration. We're doing stroke, which is in the unit of neuroradiology. We're also in collaboration through anesthesia department. We're also in collaboration with other institutions through pediatric. In pediatrics alone, we have about 2 or 3 projects. In medicine, we have about 2 projects. In anesthesia, we have 1. So these are the international collaborations that we are doing right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm thinking that I'm asking the wrong person.
Okay, go ahead, please.
At the graveyard, we are told so many flyers are moving that there are only 2 staffs in ABUTH.
Okay.
That is the doctor and others. The point is, at international level, we are already aware of the number of functions and roles, duties that bedside nurses are supposed to be doing.
Yes.
But in ABUTH, we understand that duties and functions are hijacked by you, the doctors.
I think that's a wrong notion. Everybody works in collaboration with all the staffs, be it a medical doctor, be it a nurse, be it a laboratory technician, be it a radiographer, and so that notion that we have only 2 staffs in the hospital, doctors and others, is very, very wrong. Everybody works within his own capacity as a professional. We have so many professionals in this hospital. It's not just the nurses, medical laboratory scientists. We have the therapists, radiographers, physiotherapy, pharmacists also.
Yes.
So for someone to say that there are only 2 people in this hospital, that's the doctors and others, I think is a wrong notion.
This is a tertiary healthcare facility.
Yeah.
It is also a teaching hospital. That means training is the major aspect, and of course the tertiary aspect of Medicare.
Yes.
But I understand that nurses from local governments, state, can set lines, can do blood transfusion, of course with the procedure guided by doctors, but here even line nurses are not allowed to.
That is not true. Setting a line is not a function of the nurse. It's the doctor that sets line. There are procedures that are supposed to be done in collaboration. Each health worker has his own function, so there's no hijack of any function by any doctor or any other person.
I already said, sir, that I'm asking the wrong person. You are a doctor, so of course I'm thinking you're going to defend the doctor.
Well, I'm just telling the truth.
Okay. When the blueprint of this teaching hospital was brought to limelight,
yes,
there are so many beautiful things.
Yes.
Airstrip, school, parks, so many other things.
Yes.
Unfortunately, even the housing was not completed. What are you expecting to see its actualization, part of the blueprint within your tenure?
Well, there are so many things I want to do. I want to have a functional trauma center. As you're coming in, you would see a building just by the side. That's a trauma center. So I want to have a full-fledged trauma center in this hospital. Then we will also want to have a full-fledged amenity wing in this hospital. Onkode Foundation have agreed to have 2 centers in ABUTH Teaching Hospital. Those 2 centers are centers of cardiology and cardiothoracic, and then nephrology and urology. So in essence, by the time we have those 2 centers, we should be able to be doing open heart surgery, and we should also be able to do kidney transplant in this hospital by the time the center is fully functional.
When we come back, we are going to discuss more with Professor Ahmed Umdagas Hamidu, the Chief Medical Director of Ahmadu University Teaching Hospital.
ABS Cleaning World. Fabrics need a special touch. ABS Cleaning World. Efficient and reliable laundry and dry cleaning services. To be smart, exuding confidence, dealing with the public. Be neat, dress well. ABS Cleaning World provides the best laundry and dry cleaning services for you. We guarantee you cannot run out of clean and neat clothes. We stand in for you. ABS Cleaning World makes it easier for you. We clean all types of clothes, suits, uniforms including military, paramilitary, police, and school uniforms. Traditional dresses such as babariga, kaftans, ashokes, gele, including the local touch of bugu, costumes of all kinds, tables and bedsheets, blinds and curtains, blankets, and lots more. Bearing in mind to keep your colors bright, we clean all types of fabric with a special touch. Our laundry and dry cleaning services are custom made specifically for you. Ours is not only machines, we also add technical skill to our experience in serving you well with a unique personal touch, just as doing it yourself. ABS Cleaning World, 2 days delivery, packaging, and a free delivery pickup. ABS Cleaning World, efficient and reliable laundry and dry cleaning services. The best you get. ABS Cleaning World is located at number 90B IBB Way, adjacent Professor Abdullahi House, GRA Zaria. You can call us on the following numbers: 070-3776-3385 or 080-5554-0464. ABS Cleaning World keeps your clothes clean and neat. You can depend on us. We got you covered. ABS Cleaning World. Fabrics need a special touch.
Welcome back. One of the challenges I discovered in the teaching hospital is internal transportation. People with vehicles are allowed to drive in, park, seek whatever services they need. But people without vehicles, with patients, some are aged, some are obese, dropped by the gates and had to trek. Are you thinking of getting the teaching hospital a shuttle that will ease the patient's movement within the hospital?
Well, I think maybe you read my mind because in 2021 I raised that. And so in 2020 budget, there are going to be motorized vehicles within the hospital that will be transporting patients from one place to the other. So it's something that I've thought of it, and it's already in the 2022 budget.
Wow. There is one particular aspect that is worrying me.
What is it?
Many people resisted the movement of the teaching hospital from Tudunwada to Shika. And from that point, to this day, it gave birth to two things. One, shortage of accommodation to staff. Second, bad publicity that the teaching hospital is blood-sucking, death traps, death camps, and all sorts of labels have been given to the teaching hospital. Your predecessors, they did not use this mindset that when you come to Shika, it's just death. What are you doing about it?
Well, what has to be very clear about this, Shika, tertiary hospital, what it means is we still have the primary, secondary care before coming to tertiary. So ideally, patients that come here are patients that are supposed to be receiving tertiary health care and not the primary and then secondary. Sometimes what happens is, if you are sick, you just go to the Babalaos, then you go to the neighboring chemist. It is only when no one can do anything to the patient, that's when they reverse to the teaching hospital. So even if they call our hospital as a death trap, well, it's not the hospital that did it, it's a patient, because they didn't come early to the hospital. They wasted their money, wasted their time assessing health facility from chemists and whatever. So that's because of the death penalty that's said to say that used to occur in the teaching hospital. This occurs not only to our own teaching hospital, it occurs to all the teaching hospitals in the other part of this country.
This is beyond a public relations department to handle. It is a jinx, and the hospital should not just accept it because you are a tertiary institution. You have to try to use all other gamut of communication managerial aspects, including traditional. Polio was resisted. I remember one of your predecessors was at the national limelight as a pathologist to be able to bring this. But by the time they brought in traditional rulers, the Sultan himself talked about polio, vaccine, vaccinating, and number of things, and people keyed in. This jinx is not healthy. We need to see activities that will change this mindset. Do you think we'll be able to break this jinx?
Inshallah, we should be able to do that. It's only when you don't know the cause of a thing, that's when you may be able to correct it. Now we know what is the cause of a patient coming late to the hospital. So we would sit down and then strategize and see how we can educate the populace and make them come to hospital as early as possible.
I want to bring something back to you again as a medical doctor. You are part of the problem. Many of you are the ones referring patients to your own private hospitals. Most of the private hospitals are owned by staffs of your teaching hospital.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, we do not encourage people to be referring patients from the teaching hospital to private clinics. It's against the laws and practice of the hospital. To my own understanding, we are not aware of those referrals. So if they do it behind the management's back. I cannot protest anything on this.
We will go in another break. When we come back, I'm going to ask you what I consider my star question. Don't go away.
Your Excellency, during your visit some years back, my predecessor of blessed memory, the Emirates also Idris, made request in the areas of healthcare and water supply. I'm proud to say, and also to stand before you here today, to say that there was a huge intervention in Ahmed University Teaching Hospital. I'd like to also recognize the efforts of our amiable Minister of Finance, who has spearheaded this. Your Excellency, we're happy, and I can assure you the entire people of Zaria and the neighboring states are very happy with the intervention there, because we no longer have to travel to Sokoto, to Kano and Abuja before we can be screened by the MRI machine. So I'm indeed very grateful for that faithfulness.
Welcome back. It's Noblenews Scorecard, and on the hot seat is Professor Ahmed, Umdagas Hamidu, the Chief Medical Director, Ahmed University Teaching Hospital, Shika, Zaria. I said, this will be my star question. I can rate, grade, rank the institutions in Zaria. I think the teaching hospital should be number 4, if not 5. The teaching hospital is a bit away from Ahmed University. That means Ahmed University still precedes the teaching hospital. Secondly, not because of the present security challenges, but nationally, when you have a Nigerian Army depot with almost 4 sister organizations under it, PT School, NNS, Military Police, and Engineering Corps, all depot could be ahead of the teaching hospital. Internationally, you may agree or disagree, but I still rank aviation ahead of you. The reason why I cannot rank the University Energy Center ahead of you is because it is also a wing of the university, so it will come under you. But because of its nuclear position, I can rank it above the teaching hospital. My concern is not the ranking. I'm just trying to buttress the point. Out of all the institutions in Zaria, His Highness Ambassador Ahmed Bamali mentioned only the teaching hospital to the president. Are you his darling son? I'm not done, sir. I recall that recently your accident and emergency unit was named after his predecessor, Sheikh Idris. I said, who is this man? The darling of the Emirate Council?
Well, you can say I'm the darling of the emirs, I mean, you can say that. But it's just that ABUTH hospital is within Zaria. So as far as within Zaria, we have the cordial relationship between the hospital and the Emirate Council. And so for us to have named the late emir, we named our accident and emergency as His Royal Highness Dr. Sheikh Idris Accident Emergency. This is just because of what the late emir has been doing to us. In fact, when he did his centenary or something like that, in his speech asked for the federal government to assist Ahmed University Hospital. So if an institution is always by your side, you have to be also by the side of that institution. So we have a very, very cordial relationship between Ahmed University Hospital Zaria and the Emirate Council.
Before we go to the last lab, I have here on this list completed projects we have done, 38. I've marked 7. One of it is the magnetic resonance imaging, and you are a radiologist. It was named after a minister.
We talked about the MRI machine. The 1.5 Tesla MRI machine is actually my pet project. For the hospital, I've named it after the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and Planning. It's also, she has been there for us. And she's from Zaria. So she's like any other person. So she deserves to be honored. That's the reason why we honored her.
The cheapest MRI cost at international level is $1,500. That's a huge amount of money. That means the MRI in ABUTH is beyond the reach of the poor.
Well, it's not beyond the reach of the poor. In fact, what we are charging right now is still the rate that we charge the 0.2 Tesla machine that we have in the department. So we actually have the 0.2 Tesla machine and we have the 1.5 Tesla machine. So the 1.5 Tesla machine is the latest machine that we have. So having in mind the people of Zaria and the environment, so we left the charges to be the same with the 0.2 Tesla machine. So for an examination, it's just 60,000 naira. So except if you're doing multiple parts of the body. So for a single part of the body, it's just 60,000 naira per examination.
Another point that is very, very vital for the teaching hospital to take cognizance Just as I mentioned the mindset of people getting scared to come to the teaching hospital, the MRI also needs a lot of media outreach. The reason is, if you take away the accident and emergency, which you've done so much marvelous job, now we have 2, the next unit is the ICU. When people hear that somebody is going into oxygen, they get scared. Just oxygen. How can you convince people to go into a tomb? Because I think they close tight. That means it's just like a tomb. The moment an average Nigerian is told to go in an MRI, you say, Mutu akusa. What are you doing? To change the mindset of people that the MRI advantage.
Well, what we have done is just before you do an MRI examination, there's this talk that the doctors and the radiographers give to the patient. So they will not be scared about the machine. They will not be claustrophobic, because that's the main thing that happens is claustrophobia. So we try as much as possible to enlighten people about it. So with that, people will look at MRI as any other examination that takes place in the hospital.
Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed Emerald Suit, Emerald at your doorsteps, first of its kind in Nigeria. You no longer need to travel afar for Emerald services. The same kind of accurate diagnosis in hospitals in Europe, America, and other places is now available at the Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed Emerald Suits of Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital. Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed Emerald Suit raises the bar with the 1.5 Tesla Emerald machine, first of its kind in Nigeria. Canon 1.5 Emerald Tesla machine is easier, faster, designed to reduce duration of scan, deliver clearer and accurate digital imaging of investigations. The most beautiful feature of the latest ABUTH Emerald machine is the provision of the patient's safety and clinical comfort. Emerald is safe and cheaper than the long-term cost of hospitalization. With the Canon 1.5 Tesla Emerald machine, Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed Emerald Suit can now conduct diagnoses that were impossible before. The Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed Emerald Suit is medically and technologically equipped in an aesthetic and conducive environment. Visit Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed Emerald Suit at Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Shika, Zaria today for your Emerald accurate diagnosis, reduced cost and expertise. Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed Emerald Suit, MRI at your doorstep, first of its kind in Nigeria. There are so many people with breast stages of cancer. There are so many accidents that are not brought in here. If this machine, just like the emir proudly told the president, now we don't need to go to Sokoto or other places. This outreach is expected to tell the world, especially the elites and those afraid or are not aware of that machine.
Well, I think that's why we're having this conversation with you. It's just a starting point. With this conversation that we're having, it will go out to the world, and so they will know what we're doing in the hospital, and then what's the MRI and what does it look like, and then what are the fears of patients. So it's just the beginning that we've just started, this conversation we're having. So I think with the beginning like this, I'm sure in the next phase of this the conversation, we should be able to enlighten people about the facility we have in this hospital.
Why did you have to settle debt? 240 million naira. How come?
Well, that's what I saw when I came in. I saw that this debt and we need to settle it, and so we did.
I saw you've employed 431, and I saw 320 promoted, and I saw you also renovated and reconstructed the resident doctors and house officers' quarters. When people moved from Manumfashi, from Kaduna, and other sister conglomerate of the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, some people were sleeping in this hospital. The accommodation is severe and up till now because that blueprint was not completed. Still, some of your staff come from Kaduna, they stay here for a whole week before they go back. And now the federal government had stopped institutional housing.
Yeah.
How are you going to help these people?
Actually, we are talking to people that have shown interest of building a staff quarter, but it's going to be like a PPP arrangement. We are still talking with those estate developers to develop the vast land that we have, so that we can have this for our staff. It's something that is ongoing, and we're doing the talks for now.
No aspect of development should be left to suffer. You've done infrastructure, you've done these few items of the administration and welfare. There is one particular aspect that most chief executives neglect. Training procedure that every staff is supposed to have, especially specialists, is supposed to have minimum of 2 local training, either workshops or seminars, and 1 international workshop or seminar. Are your staff enjoying this training, capacity buildings?
It seems as if most of the questions you're asking are things that we are ahead of you, because in 2022 budget we have captured the human capital development for our staff. So our staff will be trained and retrained in this 2022, and this has been captured in the budget of 2022.
Let us take this commercial break.
When late Sheikh Idris, Emir of Zazzau, drew our attention to the problems in Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, we visited. He sent me an album showing the state of dilapidation of the hospital, and I visited, conferred with the chief medical director, and I reported to you, and you asked me to write for an emergency intervention, which you approved, and our sister, the Minister of Finance, monitored and ensured implementation. And today, the ABUTH Teaching Hospital is a much improved and a pride to all of us, and we're very grateful to you.
Welcome back. With all this welfare you are having, with staff, infrastructure, your clientele, the hospital is having different looks. What is your relationship, your working relationship with other staff?
I think I can say my working relationship with my staff is very cordial. I have an open door policy. As a staff, you can always come if you have any problem or you need to discuss something with me. I have a very, very cordial relationship between the Office of the Chief Medical Director and our staff.
So in Hausa we have a balance, a saying that the angry ake chingari. With the social media trend, a lot of people are using social media to write petitions to get one thing or the other. But the reason why I ask you a working relationship, petitions flying against the teaching hospital cannot, I'm using emphasis, be possible without the infiltration of some of your staff.
That's right.
How are you managing it?
Earlier, we have a very, very cordial relationship between my staff and the Office of the Chief Medical Director. So it's normal for people to do petition, but it's also not normal for the person that reads the petition to read it and then just consume it without asking questions. So we have this open door policy that any person that has any grievances, we will always sit down and discuss it. What we are trying to do is to let the public and the clients to know what we're doing in this hospital. Petitions are being written if the people don't know actually what is going on. So we are trying our best to make sure that we get across to the public and to give them an idea of what transpires in the hospital.
My last question, sir, is you've done so much. In the space of 2 years, you've covered almost everything a teaching hospital needs to do. You have renovated all the wards. What do you have again to remain? Should we relieve you of your appointment because you finished all? What are your goals?
Well, I've not finished. I want to leave the hospital. In my resume that I presented to the board of Ahmed University Council when I was applying for the post of the chief medical director, there are so many things that I've marked. So what we have done is just let's say about 50%, no, about 25% of what you need to do. So there are a lot of things that needs to be done. So we still work very hard to make sure we achieve what we want.
Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful period.
Thank you so much.
What we just say is this Noblenews Scorecard. Professor Ahmed Umdagas Hamidu, the Chief Medical Director of Ahmadu University, Zaria. We expect the public to also react, and we are also going to meet you next time with another personality. Thank you. Keep it day with Noblenews Scorecard. Noblenews, truth and balance, restoring trust in the media.